It's funny. I'm not. I guess not trying to be nonchalant about it, but sometimes when you're in it, you don't necessarily feel it. Those guys, it was nothing really out of the ordinary. As far as our play calling and our flow of the game, I just felt like guys were finding me, especially Braun and Kyrie. And how their coverages were to start the game. They were kind of sending on the pick and rolls the smaller the baseline, and they were kicking it back, and we just had a split second to shoot the ball, so it was there for us. Channing Frye, when he came in, same kind of a thing. Got into the bonus late in the quarter, so I was able to get to the free throw line. A couple of those pick and rolls, they ended up switching the coverages, and we switched, and I got a smaller defender on me, so I was able to get buckets in the post as well. But I think a lot of those down screens, for me coming off pin down action for threes, and also just running the floor and finding myself in transition, catching the ball and shooting it. That's really I had a good rhythm and made my first couple shots, and it was on from there.
I know you're just talking to Dave about this, but during timeouts, do you know your point total? Do you know you're coming up on Clay's record? When do you become aware of that 37's out there?
I didn't know that was the record. For some reason, I remember, a couple guys having 40-point halves or something like that in the past few years. So. Or at least since I've been in the NBA. So I wasn't, really aware of that. But, I remember, Clay, I don't think he missed that whole quarter free throw line, 2-point shots, 3-point shots. So, no, I wasn't really aware of it. I was just in it, and just, Braun was just telling me to stay locked in.
Were you seeing the guys' reactions on the bench?
Not until after the game. I was speaking with Ali in my post-game interview, and we were looking at some of the plays and the shot chart as well, and seeing how the guys were reacting after the game. So that was pretty funny because, I've been on that end of things where, Swish or Braun or Kai, they're going off. And I can remember when Kyrie had 55 here against the Blazers. A couple of times I was on the court, but when I wasn't, he was going off. I was going wild. So, it was good to be on the other end of that because, just knowing that it's reciprocated and this team's very close.
But what does that zone feel like? Can you describe it?
Yeah, I felt like I was a lot of those, plays. Once I really started to get going, we go into timeouts, and there'd be plays where they'd look for me, or we'd draw something up where I was either getting a pitch back or a pin down, something of that sort, or we knew that they were switching. But really, more than anything, it was all within the flow of the offense. Braun was rebounding the ball, pushing it, making great passes to different guys. Kyrie was still playing his game, get to the bucket and one. So it wasn't like they were really force feeding me. It was all within the flow.
Do you know, Kevin, your career high?
Yeah, it was OKC 51.
Do you, when you're having a moment like tonight, that many points right away, do you start thinking about 51 is in range?
I think it had crossed my mind. I think from just being, humanistic instinct is to think about, looked up there, especially after the first quarter, because I wasn't really aware. I knew that, I was hitting, I kind of saw, 20, 25, 30, and then at the end of the quarter I saw 34. So I knew that, it was within reach, but, second quarter, I think I only shot once. Third quarter, the shots were there. But no, I wasn't really thinking, I got to beat this, I got to get to my career high or something like that. I was just all, like I mentioned, trying to get within the flow of the offense, not just get greedy, just stay locked in on what we're doing.
This is going to sound silly, but is a night like tonight, is it fun? Is it more fun to do that than, your average 15-point, 10-rebound game or anything like that?
Oh, it's definitely fun. It's especially when you see the after the fact. For me, the reactions of my teammates, it was a lot of fun. We got in here after the game, and they're congratulating me. I didn't realize that was the most points for a first quarter, and how close I was to the record for a quarter in general. But no, it's definitely a lot of fun. But that's over and done with now. Enjoy it tonight. Enjoy Thanksgiving. But no, we have another game Friday.
And you may have addressed this, but you only took 6 shots. Yeah. Were they just hugging you, basically?
No, there were shots there, but also, people will remember I had 34 in the first quarter tonight, but Braun was unbelievable tonight. You look at his stat line and what he did. Really picked up the slack for us in in the second half. I had, a couple shots, so right there. But, only 6 shots in the second half, you said?
Since the first quarter.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, there you have it. But at the end of the day, I mean, 40's 40, I guess. So.
Kevin, maybe not 34 points in the first quarter, but do you feel something like this coming? Like, did you have a moment in shoot-around or something that happened pregame where you really felt like tonight was going to be one of those nights?
There was a couple spots I picked on the floor. I wanted to pick on the floor just from a three-point perspective. Other than that, same routine. Always try to get out there, same time on the clock, same really everything. So there's nothing really out of the ordinary. That's what I was trying to say in the game too. Was just really in the flow of the offense and felt good. And I think those guys that were out there with me knew I felt good and kept me rolling.
But there's nothing that you feel beforehand that tells you or gives you an indication that something like this could be coming?
Wayne Newton was in the crowd, so no, nothing out of the ordinary. No.
What was going when you look up at the scoreboard and see the total keeps going up? What's going through your mind? Just to stay in it. I think a number of guys just kept doing that. Knew that I was in a good place, in a good rhythm. But more than anything, just keep pushing forward and not settling.